Going on? What's going on, people? Going on? What's going on? What's going on, people?
The IRS deadline is here. Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. 1040 and limited credits only. Get the Intuit TurboTax app now.
Iran launches an unprecedented attack and direct attack on Israel. Good morning, everyone. If you're just tuning in, I'm Kira Phillips, and we're so glad that you're with us as we continue to follow breaking news throughout the day. Explosions lighting up the sky as Iran launches hundreds of drones and cruise missiles in retaliation for that Israeli strike on Iran's consulate in Syria. And Israel now vowing to respond. But the question is how and when. Israel convening its war cabinet today to consider its options. Iran says it has no intention of launching more attacks, but won't hesitate to protect itself against new aggression. Iran's envoy to the UN warning that this is a conflict between Iran and Israel and that America should just stay away from it. As for President Biden, he says it'll be up to Israel to decide how to respond.
They showed last night an incredible military capability on their own, but certainly in concert with friends. They also showed Iran that Israel does have friends.
John Kirby talking about how President Biden has pledged unwavering support for Israel.
I just honestly hope that America does not get involved in this situation, because this whole situation that's going on right now is completely Israel's fault.
Calling a meeting of the G7 leaders this afternoon. We'll let you know exactly what develops there. We have full team coverage for you today, starting with our Britt Clennett, who was there last night until now when the skies of Jerusalem lit up.
Israel saying it thwarted a major attack overnight from Iran with the help of the US. The first ever strikes directly from Iranian soil on Israel. Iran launching a barrage of more than 300 missiles and attack drones, most shot down by the IDF and US before entering Israeli territory, but not all. Explosions lighting up the night sky over Jerusalem. The sound of emergency sirens piercing the air, warning people to seek shelter from the ongoing assault. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with a message on social media this morning. We intercepted.
How do y'all feel about this whole situation, though? Do y'all think, Israel or Iran started this, and why? Let me know how y'all feel about this.
We blocked. Together, we will win. Last night, Netanyahu saying we are prepared for any scenario, both in defense and attack. The IDF saying they intercepted the majority of the projectiles with over 90% success rate. One Arab-Israeli girl was critically injured in an attack in southern Israel.
This is a severe and dangerous escalation. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are at the highest level of readiness.
U.S. armed forces helped to shoot down dozens of objects launched at Israel, according to ABC sources. The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem lifting its shelter-in-place order, saying that the threat from missiles and drones has diminished. Iran says its attack was to avenge Israel's strike near an Iranian consulate in Syria last week, leaving 16 people dead, including 2 generals of the Revolutionary Guard. People seen celebrating in the streets of Tehran amid Iran's assault on Israel. President Biden scrapping his weekend plans to return to the White House. Seen here meeting with his national security team in the Situation Room. Biden also reaffirming his pledge to help Israel in their defense, hopping on a call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, telling him overnight Israel demonstrated a remarkable capacity to defend against and defeat even unprecedented attacks. The leaders of the G7 meeting later today over video conference to coordinate a response to this weekend's attack.
Britt Clennett joining me now from Tel Aviv for more. So, Britt, the Israeli War Cabinet has convened for this meeting. What can you tell us about the latest, just on a potential response, and how far is Netanyahu willing to go?
Well, Netanyahu, that dude is a complete terrorist, if y'all know. That dude is a fucking Zionist, and he's willing to do whatever to protect Israel. That dude is a fucking murderer, and he needs to be locked up. Hopefully, none of y'all support this dude. If y'all don't know who he is, please take the time to look him up. But the dude is a extremist. You know, he's definitely willing to do whatever for his religion, like to support Judaism.
Yeah, Kira, Netanyahu is convening the War Cabinet now to discuss the Israeli response. Some are urging Netanyahu not to respond immediately, some on the far right calling for a major military response. It's unclear where Netanyahu stands, but any Israeli response, Kira, could trigger another round of attacks from Iran. Tehran has made that very, very clear. The danger of escalation, Kira, and an all-out war then becomes very real.
A short drive
God.
from Houston.
Oh
The
my
Texas
God.
coast's best kept secret.
So, while I have you, Britt, just watching you last night and through the night, and the way you described the skies of Jerusalem just lighting up, now that you've had a chance to maybe get a few minutes of sleep, wake up this morning and continue your coverage, your thoughts, your reflections from what you observed last night until this morning, where we are wondering what could happen next.
Yeah, look, it was a long night. It was a tense night. And I think people woke up this morning thinking, okay, what was that? Reflecting on what exactly happened. Obviously, you know, we saw around 99% success rate, and that helped alleviate some fears, and the damage caused was minimal. But look, it is still tense. I spoke to people on the streets of Tel Aviv, on the streets of Jerusalem before this strike, and they did seem kind of unfazed. And that really took us aback, because we were saying, you know, there are all signs pointing towards a strike. And they kind of said, well, you know, if you're in Israel, you're kind of used to this violence or this lingering threat. But I think now it's really hit home. People have had to run into their bunkers.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? I see that we got 3 people up in here right now. Please let me know how y'all feel about this whole conflict that's going down. If you want to ask me personally, I completely think it's Israel's fault. I think that's an ethno state, and they definitely need to be destroyed and, you know, dismantled, because that place is just ran by the excuse of basically, like, everything that they're doing over there, they're using the excuse of the Bible. You know, like, they're trying to I just see them as a complete terrorist organization, to be completely honest with y'all. But definitely let me know y'all's thoughts down in the comments below.
To take cover. Usually in most cities in Israel, you get about a minute and a half to run into that bunker. But look, as I described last night, it was quite a sight. It was quite scary at times. You saw those flashes of light dotted all around the night sky, and those air raid sirens that you know wailed and wailed, and we've heard them in other conflict zones that we've been into. But certainly, it never gets old. It's always quite terrifying when you start hearing that, and then when you see those flashes in the sky. So I think there's mixed feelings, but certainly there are fears that there could be a back and forth now between Iran and Israel, and fears that, as I say, this could escalate in into something far bigger and scarier.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking of the last time the sky lit up was that when Hamas, you know, attacked Israelis back on October 7th, and all of you were reporting from Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and there was talk of the Iron Dome able to, you know, intercept what Hamas was trying to do. In your experience, in what you know right now, is this a totally different level of attack, Britt?
Look, as we've been reporting, this is unprecedented. This is the first time that we've seen a direct attack from Iran, Iranian territory, to Israeli territory. So we are in uncharted waters right now, Kira, and I think that is what everyone is fearful about. We know that Iran appears to have targeted a major Israeli airbase in the south. That is home to its F-35s, one ballistic missile hitting it, but the IDF says it only caused minimal damage. So I think given the impact and the minimal impact, perhaps that will be measured into Netanyahu's calculation about whether to respond. Certainly, it's likely that he will have pressure from the U.S. to not have any, excessive response to this, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail out of all of this, Kira.
Yeah, I think that's how everybody is feeling right now. One more, Britt, if you don't mind. The U.S. Embassy there in Jerusalem has now lifted its shelter-in-place order. Why do you think that decision was made now? And can you just give us a little more context as to what it's like there?
Yeah, look, I think it was quite a surprise to many people when the U.S. Embassy issued that alert for its staff and staff families to stay put in cities. So that certainly kind of upped the ante. That got everyone here thinking, well, if Americans have been told to stay put, maybe we should too. But now that's been lifted. We know that schools, educational institutions are still closed and most gatherings banned in most places. So there is still a little bit of a sense here, Kira, that this is a country on edge. But again, we just have to wait and see what that response will be. And in the next few hours, it will be really key to see out of that war cabinet what they come up with, to see what that response is going to be from Israel and whether this spirals out of control.
All right. Britt Clennett standing by for us there in Tel Aviv. Britt, really appreciate you and your reporting. So the magnitude of this attack certainly took allies, even the White House, by surprise in many ways. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby made the rounds this morning and also made it clear to all of us that it's going to be up to Israel now on how to respond to Iran's attack.
The president understands the prime minister runs a government for a sovereign state of Israel, and that they'll decide whether and how they're going to respond to what Iran did last night. We respect that.
Hey, want to know how I got this $50,000 check for an accident I was involved in over 5 months ago? Look, if you've been injured in a car accident that wasn't your fault, you have to watch this video. There's a little-known loophole that attorneys and insurance companies don't want you to know about. A loophole.
Joining us now, former U.S. Ambassador to NATO, retired Lieutenant General Doug Lute, also our national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy, and former CIA field operative Daryl Blocker. Gentlemen, since I have the three of you, I know you all well. I know your backgrounds. Before I sort of take a deep dive into specific questions, I would just like to know if you were sitting in that war cabinet meeting that's happening right now, what would you say? What would you advise? What would you bring up as concerns? Mick, let's start with you.
Certainly, Kira. I think right now everybody was surprised at the level and scope of this attack coming straight from Iran. It wasn't due to lack of effort that they didn't have much impact on the ground. It was because of the expertise of Israel, the United States, and our partners. So that was, I think, one of the most important things we saw last night. And quite frankly, if it would have been successful, it would have damaged civilian infrastructure and killed a lot of civilians. So I think Israel is going to try to take the balance of a response. I think it's likely they will respond. The scope of that response is probably what's being discussed now. And it's in light with, I think, the obvious U.S. Desire to see this somewhat contained and then de-escalated so it doesn't continue into an all-out regional war. So they could look at things as substantial as going up after suspected nuclear facilities, defense industrial base, or simply mitigate certain threats they would have in the future if they were to try to go after those things. I think that's what they're discussing now. Of course, they're going to take in the account the U.S. desire in this, but ultimately, as Admiral Kirby said, this is an Israeli decision.
Well, let me just follow up quickly before I get to Daryl and to Doug, Mick. I mean, you know, when you were active in the administration and even within the CIA, just all your background from intelligence to politics to military experience to you know, special operations, you know, what's your gut telling you? What's the smart move right now? If you were able to just be in that room and have faith. FaceTime with Netanyahu, what would you be telling him?
So my gut, as you might expect, comes from my background, me and Daryl's background, quite frankly. I would like to see a lot more covert operations done, and not just because it is my background, but because it does have the potential to de-escalate or at least not escalate a situation, as largely Iran feels compelled to respond if they're attacked directly, openly, overtly. So I would be pushing for a lot of those things, to do things like mitigate the nuclear threat and the chance that Iran could get a nuclear weapon, which is a very real, very near-term threat, and also to start making problems for the regime, quite frankly, in Iran through those means. But I would not discount, I would not take off the table a direct military response. This likely has to have a response because it was so overt, and quite frankly, again, if the effort was intended, it could have caused major damage in Israel, and that can't be underscored enough.
All right, Lieutenant General, I'm going to take it to you now. Put on that military hat of yours and tell me what your thoughts are. And if you were in that war cabinet meeting right now, what would you be saying? What would your concerns be? How would you see this?
Well, if I were in the room today with Prime Minister Netanyahu, I'd speak up and make the point that once this escalatory spiral begins, where it ends is completely unpredictable. Last night may have left us with the impression that this can be precisely controlled. 99% of the inbound Iranian systems were knocked down and so forth. But as we move forward, every step is a hazard. Every step is dangerous. Every step is unpredictable. So as Israel considers its options, I hope that they're taking into account the very unpredictable nature of what lays out in front of them. That doesn't mean that they'll do nothing, or it doesn't mean that there'll be a full-out, very robust strike. But they should have the sort of cautionary humility that they really don't know what the next steps are.
All right, Daryl, you're up. If you were in that room with Doug and Mick, clearly you and with your background, you and Mick would probably be in line with regard to covert operations. But what are your thoughts and your concerns, and what would you be saying in that war cabinet meeting?
Well, thank you, Kara. I would be reminding Netanyahu and the Israelis that this is a 45-year battle that they've been fighting since 1979. They know it. They recognize it. It is absolutely nothing new. Now, what is new is the fact that a first-time attack has taken place from the territory of Iran into the territory of Israel. That is significant. However, it was a feeble response. Now, the shooting down these missiles, they have to land somewhere, so there's still a threat, but it's not really much of a threat. And the statement coming out of the United Nations Iranian mission was that this matter can be deemed concluded. They had to save face. They had to do something. And now Israel has the opportunity to maybe switch up some of the bad press that it has over the past 4 or 5 months and take the upper road, so to speak. They will respond. They have been taking out Iranian nuclear scientists and drone and missile program directors for the last 14 years. This is a slow burn, and now it has come to a head.
So, Doug, I'm just getting word here that Jordan, Iraq, and Lebanon have now all reopened their airspaces following the drone and missile strikes on Israel, though there are some restrictions, it looks like, that are going to remain throughout the region. But how does this impact what could happen next?
Well, I think the reopening the airspace just reemphasizes Iran's message that for now, Iran has concluded its strikes. That airspace would remain closed if there were any suspicion that there were follow-on strikes imminent, so forth. So I think that this gives Israel and the Israeli decision makers an opportunity to take a deep breath and to think about next steps.
All right. Stay with us, gentlemen, because we indeed want to know what those next steps will be. Lieutenant General Doug Lute, Mick Mulroy, Daryl Blocker. Gentlemen, it's great to have you on a day like this. And our breaking news continues. Iran launches this unprecedented direct attack on Israel. More on what this could mean for the U.S., our military, next.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack.
Discussion next.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and next. So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and
retaliation for that Israeli strike on Iran's consulate in Syria. Israel now threatening to respond, convening right now in its war cabinet to consider its options. Iran says it has no intention of launching more attacks, but won't hesitate to protect itself against new aggression. Stay with us. A lot more news ahead.
Neglected their son.
They don't have the track, the equipment.
Women known as Rosie.
Tonight's attack.
No, we had been planning for it. We realized that Iran was up to no good once more. And together with our allies, we created a plan of action, a unified operational plan to respond to Iran's aggression.
But were you surprised by the scale of it?
I think that we had a good intelligence, we had a good operational plan, we had good forces prepared and poised on the ground and in the air, and we had an alliance that came together around this incident with a very, very strong message to Iran. You can't get away with this. So I think it's not a question of surprise on what they gave out, it's how we responded to it. And I think coming together in such a very, very strong way, under the umbrella of the United States Central Command, together with the British, together with the French, and the regional players, sent a very, very clear message to Iran that you can't get away with it, and we will work together to save lives.
I mean, political-wise, we've seen some cracks in the U.S.-Israel relationship. Do you think last night was kind of a turn, it took another positive turn?
The military to military has been tight, has been airtight. The relationship is very, very professional, eye to eye, and that is exactly what we fulfilled yesterday. General Kurilla left yesterday morning before everything happened, the commander of the United States Central Command, and we had an operational plan very well ironed out in order to address the impending attack, understanding exactly what they were planning to do, what Iran was planning to do, with 300 missiles, guided missiles, ballistic missiles, explosive drones, 170 explosive drones. None of them made it to Israel's airspace because we intercepted them beforehand, because our allies intercepted some of them. So it was a very, very close-knit, very densely aerial airspace.
Could you give a breakdown of how many drones or missiles were shot down by Israel forces versus the US?
We're still looking into it. We're still in the aftermath of that. The after-action review is very complicated because there were so many actors intercepting so many different types of weapons as they were being dished out. What we know currently is that 170 explosive drones made their way to Israel. None of them made it into Israel's airspace. They were shot down beforehand. Around 30 cruise missiles that made their way from Iran, from Iraq, from Yemen. None of them made it to Israel. They were all shot down before they made it into
IRS e-file is open. Snap your W-2 and file your...
In the name of God, the compassionate and merciful, Madam President, as we informed in our letter last night in response to the Israeli regime's recurring military aggression, particularly its armed attack on 1st April 2024 against Iranian diplomatic premises, a defiance of Article 2nd of the Charter of the United Nations, the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran carried out a series of military strikes on Israeli military objectives with dozens of missiles and drones. Iran's operation was entirely in the exercise of Iran's inherent right to self-defense as outlined in Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations and recognized by international law. This concluded action was necessary and proportionate. It was precise and only targeted military objectives and carried out carefully to minimize the potential for escalation and prevent civilian harm. Madam President, we thank those members of the Council who condemned the Israeli armed attack against our diplomatic premises in Syria. Regrettably, in this chamber, certain members of the Council, including the US, UK, and France, has chosen once again to turn a blind eye to reality and overlook the root causes contributing to the current situation. In hypocritical behavior, these three countries falsely blamed and accused Iran without considering their own failures to uphold their international commitment to peace and security in the region. They made unsuccessful attempts to use lies, manipulate the narrative, spread disinformation, and engage in a destructive blame game, all the while they deliberately disregarded Iran's inherent right to respond to the violation of a fundamental principle of international law. the inviolability of diplomatic representative and premises. Moreover, they ignore the underlying root causes of the current situation in the region. For over 6 months now, these countries, especially the United States, have shielded Israel from any responsibility for the Gaza massacre, while they have denied Iran inherent right to self-defense against the Israeli armed attack on our diplomatic premises. At the same time, they shamefully justified the Israeli massacre and genocide against the defenseless Palestinian people under the pretext of self-defense. They made cynical attempt to justify and cover up the atrocities of the Israeli regime against the people of Palestine by arbitrary and misleading interpretation of self-defense. Madam President, following the Israeli regime cowardly terrorist and armed attack against our diplomatic premises in Damascus, the Syrian Arab Republic, on the 1st of April, we notified the UN Security Council and Secretary General of such international wrongful act, as well as of Iran's inherent right under international law to respond to such terrorist armed attack. Also, in a phone conversation with the UN Secretary General on 2nd April, Iran Foreign Minister discussed the situation and called for taking appropriate action and a strong condemnation from the international community for this horrific crime. We called upon the Security Council to strongly denounce this unjustified criminal and terrorist act, taking decisive and appropriate measure to bring the perpetrators to justice swiftly and prevent the requirements of the such horrible crime against the diplomatic premises of any member state. Regrettably, the Security Council has failed in its duty to maintain international peace and security. Russia proposed a press statement to denounce this atrocious act, which was backed by China, Algeria, and many members, but was blocked by the US, UK, and France. Faced with such circumstances, the Islamic Republic of Iran had no choice but to exercise its inherent right to self-defense under international law. Madam President, the root cause of the current situation are clear to all. From the start of the Israeli war against Palestinian people in Gaza, more than 34,000 civilians, 2/3 of them children and women, have been killed. All civilian infrastructures have been targeted and destroyed by Israel. Even humanitarian workers have not been immune from the military attacks of this rough regime. The absence of accountability and conscious inaction faced with the Israeli genocide and war crimes against the Palestinian people has only emboldened this regime to continue its violation unchecked. The US and its allies have blocked the Security Council for over 6 months, protecting Israel from accountability for the Gaza massacre. They not only avoid condemning Israel for these atrocities, but also actively try to cover up them. Their sole priority is supporting and defending Israel regardless of the consequences and at all costs. Despite international pressure and UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire, Israel has defied this resolution. Rather, its focus remains on committing more atrocious crimes, showing no regard for international legal obligation. Madam President, this lawless regime has committed many atrocious crimes against our people. This regime blatantly and openly admitted its responsibility for the terrorist and destructive operation committed against Iranian officials, scientists, and civilians, and sabotage against our peaceful nuclear infrastructure in recent years. This Israeli regime even made explicit threats to use nuclear weapons against a sovereign member state of the United Nations. This terrorist regime is responsible for all criminal and terrorist acts committed against Iran and must bear the consequences. The Islamic Republic of Iran has warned time and again about the repercussions of the malicious activities of the regime on regional and international peace and security. Iran has exercised maximum restraint. Now it is time for the occupying regime to bear full responsibility for its consequences. This regime cannot avoid accountability. Madam President, Israel's ongoing destabilized and irresponsible action and atrocities against the nation in the region are a real threat to regional and international peace and security. The Israeli Prime Minister's policy seeks to expand and escalate the conflict in the region to stay in power. The member of the Security Council must not allow such an august body, the Security Council, to be held hostage to the ambitions of such a belligerent regime. It is time for the Security Council to shoulder its responsibility and address the real threat to international peace and security. The Security Council must promptly fulfill its duty under Chapter 7 of the Charter in response to Israeli reckless defiance. It must take urgent and punitive measures to compel this regime to stop its genocide and massacre against the people of Gaza and uphold its obligation, especially fully implement the UN Security Council resolution and legally binding orders of the International Court of Justice. The main and long-standing threat to the peace and security of our region is well known to all, and the attempts to conceal it through disinformation, a smear campaign, or baseless accusation against others are pointless and unfounded. Iran is never seeking to contribute to the spillover of the conflict in the region, nor does it to escalate or spread the tension to the entire region. Contrary to unfounded claims, Iran has no proxy in the region. No individual, group, or country act at the Iran behest. The US and Israeli regime attempt to label the resistance group in the region as the proxies or terrorists. Their sinister aim is only to justify and legalize their malicious and destabilize activities in the region. The resistance group are not proxies or terrorists. They are legitimate and are only fighting against the occupation and aggression of Israel in Gaza and occupied Palestine territories and of the US in the region. International law recognized such legitimate rights against any occupation and aggression. Instead, the US and the UK are fully responsible for all its decades-long aggressions and other crimes and unlawful measures in our region. Furthermore, they are responsible for all crimes of the Israeli regime, as it cannot commit any of such savage crimes in Gaza without the consent, order, and all-out political, financial, and military support of and a collaboration with the United States and the UK. We reject the allegation made by the Israeli regime at this meeting. Such false and unfounded claims don't merit to response. Madam President, as a responsible member of the United Nations, the Islamic Republic of Iran is committed to the purpose and principles enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations, reaffirms once more its commitment to the maintenance of international peace and security. The Islamic Republic of Iran reiterates its consistent position that it does not seek escalation or war in the region, while warning about any further military provocation by the Israeli regime. The Islamic Republic of Iran reaffirms its unwavering determination to defend its people, national security and interest, sovereignty and territorial integrity against any threat or act of aggression, and to respond to any such threat or aggression vigorously and in accordance with international law. The Islamic Republic of Iran will not hesitate to exercise this right when required. Madam President, Excellencies, Iran has no intention of engaging in conflict with the US in the region. We demonstrated our commitment to peace by exercising our restraint about involving the US Army in intercepting Iranian drones and missiles bound for military targets in the occupied Palestinian territories. This underscores our dedication to de-escalating tension and avoiding the expansion of conflict. However, if the US initiate military operation against Iran, its citizen, or its security and interest, Iran will use its inherent right to respond proportionately. I thank you.
Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Oh, hey, with Zeem, you can stream free local TV from all over the country. Zeem speaks for itself. It really doesn't need a...
Former music producer for Sean Diddy Combs. worked on his latest album with him, suing him for sex trafficking and sexual assault and harassment. Well, they filed new court documents. And included in those documents was an unsworn declaration from Jones himself, detailing more things he saw, heard, experienced during his time working and basically living with Combs. And in this 18-page declaration, it starts with a promise that he's telling the truth. Quote, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth herein, which I know to be true and correct, and if called upon to testify as a witness, I could and would completely testify thereto. Now, he's declaring all of this under threat of perjury, so if he's lying, that's a big deal. Now, if you ask me, I think one of the reasons Jones is doing this is to bolster his credibility because it's come under attack in the public. As we mentioned, some of the people that he mentioned in his lawsuit have fired back against those allegations. Opposing counsel questioned his narratives and motives. So this is an opportunity for him to tell the court, look, I have the receipts. I can back up what I'm saying. I will testify about this. So there are a lot of details that he provides, including background and how he got linked up with and started working for Diddy. And we already covered a lot of that in his complaint on previous sidebars. But according to Jones, he has hundreds of hours of video of Combs in his inner circle. He says that Combs required him to film constantly because he did not like to repeat himself. He said, quote, I quickly learned that from observing him lose his temper with his staff and family if they failed to remember something he said a day or two prior. Jones lists out crimes that he says he saw happen in real time. Quote, I witnessed the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. I witnessed Mr. Combs display and distribute unregistered illegal firearms. I witnessed Mr. Combs provide laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the Virgin Islands, and Florida. I witnessed Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram, instruct the staff to retrieve drugs so she could provide them to Mr. Combs for his consumption. And then Jones also talks about that alleged assault that he witnessed on Combs' charge. Yacht. You remember when we covered this, that Jones's attorneys had filed a separate civil action against Combs' son, Christian King Combs, on behalf of a woman named Grace O'Markey. She was a steward on the yacht. Remember, and Combs had chartered that yacht for the Christmas holiday in 2022. So according to the declaration, Jones, quote, witnessed Christian Combs drug and sexually assault a stewardess while we were on the yacht Mr. Combs rented in St. Bartholomew, St. Martin, and the Virgin Islands. The assault began in the makeshift studio on the yacht while I was recording Christian Combs' auto-tunes rapping. Again, we talked more in depth about that lawsuit in another sidebar episode. O'Markey claims that Christian gave her a spiked drink, touched her all over her body without her permission, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. And she had to actually fight him off.
What
now,
the
the next
fuck?
part
So
of this
here's-
declaration from Mr. Jones
Goddamn,
is absolutely
so
fascinating. It
hold on. So Christian Combs, his son, is damn near just as bad as P. Diddy, bro. I guess his shit is just all up in the family, man. This shit is fucking crazy.
Reads, quote, I have videos of Mr. Combs and me working out on the treadmill with TD Jakes playing on the monitor. We
Whoa, what TD Jakes got to do with that? Isn't that like a pastor or somebody?
TD Jakes sermons every morning during our workouts. At first, I thought it was admirable that
What
Mr.
the
Combs
hell?
listened to sermons while working out.
Didn't he just come out with something, baby? Like,
the message, he was studying
what,
the
like some gay shit that he was doing?
mannerisms. During our gym sessions, he detailed how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's pending lawsuit. Remember, Ventura had filed a lawsuit against Combs back in 2023 for sexual assault and sex trafficking, but she ended up settling with Combs the day after it was filed.
Oh my god, fuck these commercials, bro. I'm not fucking getting YouTube.
A short
Premium.
drive from Houston.
Oh my god.
The Texas coast, best kept secret.
Oh my
So
god, I'm
Jones
triggered.
also goes into detail about what he said happened at this so-called writers camp at Chalice Recording Studios. You may recall that in his lawsuit, he claims he witnessed a shooting there and that Combs allegedly tried to cover up his involvement. He writes, quote, Mr. Combs converted the parking lot of Chalice Recording Studios into a makeshift nightclub. He had everything imaginable there, including a full-service bar, a massage spa, and hookah. Mr. Combs required everyone working on the Love album to take laced shots of De Leon tequila. There was no way to tell him no. Mr. Combs felt anyone who refused to drink with him was suspicious and untrustworthy. At the time, I did not realize that he used the laced shots of alcohol to maintain control over the person consuming the alcohol. And of course, the lawsuits against Combs have accused him of sex trafficking, and that is allegedly what the Homeland Security investigation into him is tied to, a trafficking operation. Remember, his properties in L.A. and Miami were raided by Homeland Security agents 2 weeks ago. Jones continues in the declaration with, quote, "Throughout the duration of my time living with Mr. Combs, I personally witnessed Mr. Combs order his staff to bring him drugs and sex workers. This was a common occurrence, and he was never told no. During this time, I was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the..."
Okay, how did you as a grown-ass person be forced by P. Diddy to bring him sex workers? Like, you're going to have to explain that one. You really going to have to explain to me how, like, you went outside, left the damn property, and willingly, like, coerce other people to come back to the property to fucking be a sex worker for all. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Pleasure of Mr. Combs. Unbeknownst to me, Mr. Combs had hidden cameras and audio devices in all of the rooms of his homes. I only discovered this several months into living with him.
I mean, what, like, did P. Diddy, like, have, like, their fucking family members held captive, and then he was like, oh, if you don't bring me a sex worker, all your family members are going to die. Is that what happened?
When I had to pick up my Uber Eats delivery from the security office. Usually, the security would bring my food deliveries to me whenever I was in Mr. Combs' home, but at this point, I was close and familiar with the security, so they called me to their room and told me I could go in and retrieve my food myself. I saw 4 to 6 large flat-screen television monitors at the time. Each monitor had at least 20 to 30 little screens in them. Each screen was a view of a room in and surrounding Mr. Combs' home. Remember,
Mr.
Jones
Combs
claims that he was sex trafficked, and if there is videos of this and that's presented at a trial, that is significant evidence, to say the least. Now, Jones even listed out the document dates when he says he was forced to solicit sex workers for Combs. He also names a celebrity that we haven't really referenced yet. Chris Brown.
Baby. Chris Brown got caught up in the P. Diddy case.
Yeah, quote, "On July 2nd, 2023, Mr. Combs had a listening party in his California home. There were a lot of people present at this party, including Chris Brown, Justin Combs, sex workers, and some underage girls. Justin Combs would typically bring the younger women to these parties. I have 2 videos of 2 different sex workers that Justin Combs brought with him to Chalice Recording Studios. I can provide the videos to the court. This event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required me to solicit them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd who appeared to be under the age of 16. Mr. Combs forced all the attendees to drink laced De Leon liquor. I believe Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. I have personally witnessed his staff members, Brendan Paul and Moy Bawn, lace alcohol with ecstasy. And we remember Brendan Paul was actually arrested on drug charges during the raid on Diddy's properties. But Jones continues, quote, "The presence of what I perceived to be underage women made me very uncomfortable. I attempted to leave, and Mr. Combs forced me to stay. I had my car keys in my book bag. I have never lost my keys, and Mr. Combs went so far as to take my car keys to prevent me from leaving. After being forced to drink laced De Leon shots, I began feeling lightheaded and I passed out. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning naked with a sex worker sleeping next to me." In his complaint, Jones had previously mentioned a similar event and describes it in this declaration as well, writing, quote, "On February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me. I remember waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. I was in bed with 2 sex workers and Mr. Combs. I also recall aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. I have photos of the sex workers sleeping on the bed the morning after. I can provide it to the court if necessary." And from there, Jones explains in this declaration some of the things he says that Combs offered him, which is important in a sex trafficking case, that you were transported over state lines, forced to perform sex acts, and were promised something of value. That's the commercial element of commercial sex acts. Quote, Mr. Combs promised me many things to entice me to continue engaging in his sex trafficking operation. On multiple occasions, we discussed winning Grammys for the Love album. He promised I would win the Grammy for Producer of the Year for the Love album. He offered me $250,000 to purchase all the instruments I wanted. He promised me ownership of his $20 million property, One Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised to give me access to record label executives. And from there, Jones gives more details about an alleged assault that happened in Miami. He says that while using the restroom, young Miami's cousin burst.
Even though Bitcoin has shattered its previous record high, please do not buy it. Not if you want to maximize your wealth. Instead, there's a completely different cryptocurrency that I predict will increase 8,788% in the next 5 years. Do you know what it is? I'll give you a hint. It's easy to buy. It's on all the major exchanges. It's far cheaper than Bitcoin, and it's just sitting right out there in the open, yet very few people see the opportunity that's available. My name is James Altucher. I'm a Wall Street Journal best-selling author who has written over 20 books. My articles have also been published by the Financial Times, the New York Observer, the Wall Street Journal. During my career, I've made
into the bathroom and began groping him. Quote, I honestly believe that Mr. Combs sent her in there to sexually assault me, as I could hear him and the other guest laughing outside the door. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral sex on my exposed penis. I pushed her away and exited the bathroom. Young Miami's cousin did not accept my rejection and followed me out of the bathroom. She started undressing in front of everyone and attempted to straddle me and have sex with me in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff. They were
God damn it, my damn mic. But yeah, as I was saying, I definitely think that young Miami was definitely involved in that shit because, you know, everybody already knows that she's a well-known prostitute, so she was probably just as involved in that stuff as P. Diddy was.
We're all laughing. Jones also talked about Combs' sometimes violent personality. Quote, Mr. Combs often switched his approach to force me to obey and comply with his demands. On multiple occasions, he would threaten me with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat my face and informed me that he was willing to kill his mother to get what he wanted so he wouldn't think twice about harming me. That is something that we heard in the prior complaint as well. Quote, Mr. Combs would also make me work out of this bedroom whenever he had gang members and drug dealers visit him. I have witnessed Mr. Combs hand out guns from the hidden room in his bedroom closet. I have witnessed known gang members at his home in LA and Miami be paid from the stacks of cash he has in the hidden room in his bedroom closet. Jones says that Combs was very aware of the power he had and made sure that everyone around him knew it too. Quote, throughout my time living with Mr. Combs, he made it very clear that he did not spend his money on anything. He made it clear that he had partnerships and relationships with very powerful individuals and organizations, and these individuals and organizations funded his lifestyle. And then the declaration from Jones also rebuts claims by Universal Music Group, a defendant in his lawsuit. Jones writes, quote, my counsel informed me that UMG claims that they did not pay for sex workers or sponsored any of the club love parties or the writers' camp. These claims are contradicted by the reality I saw with my own eyes. There were employees of UMG and Motown present at the writers' camp, at listening parties, and after parties. I was told by Mr. Combs they were there, and I saw them there. Mr. Combs told me they were scouting for talent. As it pertains to the sex workers, they also paid for them. I have several videos of the Chalice recording studio sessions, as well as in-home recording sessions, and there are sex workers and producers in the studio. The sex workers in these videos were the only individuals paid.
This is wild. This is absolutely crazy. But I mean, it's not surprising, but it's just wild, bro, that they got all this shit going on.
So again, this is
And then the fact that P. Diddy might be accountable.
His account, right? If he backs it up by receipts, photos, screenshots, it's important. It's important. And these are very, very serious claims. And now he's doubling down on this court filing, saying that in this unsworn declaration that he can prove it. Now, I will tell you that Jones, he also provides
Oh shit, are these leaked photos? Oh, so these are like I guess like the sex workers or whatnot. And then these were the other people that were involved. Well, looks like they got footage of all his cameras.
multiple photos in the lawsuit of men and women inside a recording studio. Jones claims that the women in these photos are sex workers. And the declaration goes on to talk about the bragging that Combs allegedly did to Jones, that he lists out several stories Combs allegedly told him. Quote, Mr. Combs bragged about having Daphne Joy, the child mother of a competing rapper, on payroll as one of his sex workers. I have a video of Mr. Combs on a massage table receiving a massage from a professional masseuse while Daphne Joy is giving him a foot massage. Mr. Combs bragged about shooting a woman in the face in 1999 in New York City and getting away with it. He bragged about departed attorney Johnny Cochran's savvy legal skills and ability to pay off the witnesses through private investigators and other third parties. He bragged about having Jennifer Lopez carrying his gun into the club the night of the shooting and the fact that he had so much power and influence over her at the time. He bragged about getting Shine to take the heat for the shooting and the fact that he paid Shine through a record deal.
Oh shit, when is Jennifer Lopez gonna come out against this? Alright. This shit wild.
With his good friend L.A. Reid. And it doesn't end there because he also says that, quote, Mr. Combs also informed me that only poor people pay taxes. He shared that it is a common practice in the music industry to wire money from anonymous accounts overseas. This way, if there is ever a need to take care of a problem, it would never be traced back to him. These accounts were in Germany. At the very end of the document, Jones says, quote, I could share other things, but I do not feel comfortable putting them in this document. I will be willing to discuss them with the court under seal to preserve my Fifth Amendment.
I mean, shit, I definitely believe him though, because these rich folks, they be getting around that shit all the damn time. And people like to always talk about scammers and how they don't pay taxes. I mean, shit, a lot of these rich folks be doing the same damn thing.
Right. Now, a lot to take in there. This just doubles down my belief that he is a...
The IRS deadline is here.
Oh my fucking God, bro.
Snap your W-2 and file your tax.
A cooperating witness with the government in this potential criminal investigation. I have to believe it. And if he is one of the witnesses that's cooperating and federal authorities raided these properties, they have to be taking what he's saying is true, and maybe they're corroborating what he is saying through evidence that...
Yeah, no, this dude, Ron, at first I thought he was, trying to clout chase or whatever, but I mean, it seems like everything that he's bringing forth is actually true. I mean, and then like they tried to down talk on his lawyer, trying to say that he was a clout chaser from like suing all these other celebrities, but maybe he has a legitimate case now. We gonna see.
That was seized from Combs Properties. Okay, so a lot to take in, but we also want to tell you quickly about a new letter that Jones' attorney filed with the court after accusations that this attorney was being too salacious with his court filings. I'm talking about Tyrone Blackburn. He's one of the lawyers representing...
Yeah, see, this dude that I was just talking about, the dude that they were talking about that was clout chasing as far as like trying to sue everybody and stuff.
Rodney Jones and Grace O'Markey in their lawsuits against Sean Combs, Christian Combs, and others. United States District Court Judge for the Southern District of New York, Denise Cote, submitted a referral to the New York Federal Court Grievance Committee claiming that issues with Blackburn in 5 cases. She wrote, quote, significant resources have been spent by judges of the court and defendants named in actions he has filed to address glaring deficiencies in his filings. A referral to this court's grievance committee is warranted. She goes on to write, a reasonable inference from Blackburn's pattern of behavior is that he improperly files cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Indeed, his submissions to this court have been rife with disturbing allegations against the defendants and defense counsel. Now, other lawyers have also criticized Mr. Blackburn as well. Combs' attorney Sean Hawley alleged that Blackburn ignored exonerating evidence, writing, quote, "Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them." Then, attorneys for UMG, Universal Music Group, one of the defendants who are also being sued by Rodney Jones for their alleged participation and facilitation of the abuse and trafficking claimed by Jones, they argued, UMG, that the claims presented by Jones were, quote, "so offensively false." One of those lawyers, Donald Sakaran, said, quote, "A license to practice law is a privilege. Mr. Blackburn, plaintiff's lawyer, has misused that license to self-promote, gratuitously, falsely, and recklessly accusing the UMG defendants of criminal behavior." Well, Mr. Blackburn is firing back. He is not taking that lying down. No, he wrote a letter to Judge J. Paul Oetken, a judge for the Southern District of New York, where Jones' lawsuit against Combs is currently filed. And he begins by saying, quote, "At the onset, I apologize for wasting the court's time by having to read a letter that has nothing to do with the matters before your honor." He goes on to say that the defendants have, quote, "decided to scrummage through Pacer," that, by the way, is the online court record, "in search of anything to distract and deflect from the blatantly obvious fact that they cannot defend their actions as it relates to their business partnership with Sean Combs." He continued, quote, "I do not improperly file cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. I gain no benefit from filing cases in federal court over state court, and I am not an ambulance-chasing attorney who lives in front of a camera. Before filing any case, I always provide an opportunity for private resolution. If this case cannot be resolved privately, then I file. I do not pursue media attention. With this case alone, I have been inundated with invitations to appear on television shows, podcasts, and radio shows, both nationally and internationally, and I have rejected them all." Then he says this, bold and underlined, quote, "Although I pick my clients, I do not pick their facts. If a client comes to me with a complaint of sexual assault, and she or he has evidence to support their claims, it is my duty to include all materials relied upon in drafting the complaint into the pleading." And then he cites some case law to support that. But remember, one of the things that we called out in the complaint is how there were these screenshots of videos, photos, copies of text, receipts for trips, and so forth. Blackburn goes on to end the letter with, quote, "Finally, a referral is not a sanction. My pleadings in this district have consistently comported with the standard established pursuant to Rule 8 of the FRCP and the standard established by the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. If defendants are concerned about having a salacious claim filed against them, they should not engage in salacious acts. It was the defendant's choice to enter a general business partnership with Sean Combs, which funded his sex trafficking operation." Now, while neither Combs nor his sons have been arrested or criminally charged with respect to this investigation, many analysts that we have spoken to believe it is only a matter of time before that happens. Okay, we have this lawsuit from Grace Markey. And before we even get into the details of it, there is a question now of what is happening with this. Why do I say that? Because the filing was not on the court system's docket. According to the Washington Post, O'Markey's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, said that it had to be taken down after an unfiled version of the complaint was published by the media. So I don't know what to take away from that. If that means that what we reviewed last week wasn't supposed to be seen, not sure. But assuming this lawsuit does move forward, there is a lot to break down in it. Okay, first off, I have to say, now that I have the paperwork in my hand and I have the complaint in my hand, one of the things that struck me right from the beginning is how personal this is. Quote, "Defendant C. Combs," that's Christian Combs, "is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper." Wow. "Unfortunately, as the saying has it, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Defendant Sean Combs, who has also been accused of several acts of sexual assault, rape, sexual violence, and drugging, among other deplorable conduct, is the father of defendant C. Combs, who has seemingly taken after his father and the family business of reckless partying, drugging others, sexual violence, and other illegal conduct." That, I mean, you usually don't see that kind of language in a lawsuit. Very, very personal attacks. Also, allegations at this point. Remember, Combs has not been criminally charged. He's not been found liable. These are allegations. But when they mention Christian, I have to highlight this too. They actually embed into the complaint not a photo of him on the red carpet, not a photo of him on an album cover, not a photo of him taken by the media. They embed a photo of him and his brother being detained in handcuffs by federal agents during that raid. That is very intentional. Of all the photos to use, you are accusing him of sexual assault, and you use that photo? That was no mistake.
Hey, want to know how I got this $50,000 check for an accident I was involved in over 5 months ago?
Now, I am reminded by the fact that Miss O'Markey is being represented by not only Rodney Diggs, but as I mentioned, Tyrone Blackburn. Mr. Blackburn.
Let me know how y'all feel about this whole Diddy situation down in the comments. And I also got a poll up. Do y'all think that the people in the media was right to leak all these photos?
Is representing former Diddy producer Rodney Jones, who also filed a separate lawsuit against Diddy, his son Justin, and several others. He claims that he was a victim of sex trafficking and that he was assaulted and subjected to violence. So maybe it is not surprising we are seeing this language as he is representing multiple people accusing the Combs family of illegal conduct. We're going to get back into the merits of these lawsuits in a minute. But going back to the O'Markey complaint, another interesting tidbit is that in addition to Diddy and Christian, there are several unnamed John Does and companies who are named as defendants as well. O'Markey claims that these people and companies aided and abetted in the commission of the conduct described in the lawsuit, and that as the case proceeds, she may add their names later on. Now, O'Markey goes into some detail about what this environment on the yacht was like. She talked about how she worked the late night shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Quote, during the second week of the charter service, there was a significant amount of partying and drug use, which caused the guests to stay up throughout the night. The makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just defendant S. Combs and his family to include a constant rotation of suspected sex workers and other A-list celebrities such as French Montana and actor Cuba Gooding Jr. Defendant S. Combs was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. According to plaintiff, it resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. She also claims that drinks were spiked by Combs and that women were taken.
What's going on? What's going on, guys? I appreciate y'all for coming by. Definitely let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation down in the comments, and also get involved in a poll as well. What's going on? You said get some meat. What you mean get some meat? Hell no. You already know I'm vegan over here. Y'all better stop playing. We are protecting animals on this side, okay? And also eating meat is against God, okay?
Advantage of on the yacht. And she argues that as a bartender, she understands the impact of alcohol, and she, quote, found it very suspicious that after one shot of De Leon tequila or one mixed drink, various women on the yacht would be falling over themselves, panicking, or passing out. This led plaintiff, Grace O'Markey, to reasonably believe that the alcohol given to these women was likely laced with drugs. And she even describes one specific event in particular, quote, according to plaintiff, in another incident, defendant S. Combs had several women whom plaintiff suspected of being sex workers on the yacht. In one incident, a girl was extremely upset and ran to the lower deck, locked herself in the massage room, and was hysterically crying. She said she did not feel safe and wanted to leave. The crew was alerted of this. At this time, Sarah Chapman, one of S. Combs's children's mother, was due to have a massage, so plaintiff had to attempt to remove this young woman from the massage room, but she was very reluctant as she felt unsafe. Eventually, she left. All of this is important for O'Markey's legal claims, namely that Sean Combs is liable for what his son Christian allegedly did to her. Why? Under the premises liability cause of action, and that, by the way, is where a property owner or someone who is in control of a property has a duty to use reasonable care to keep visitors of the property safe. According to O'Markey, since Sean Combs leased, occupied, and or controlled the yacht and allowed who was on it and what was happening, this is his fault that she was sexually assaulted by his son. Quote, defendant S. Combs allowed and encouraged the people aboard his yacht, including his son C. Combs, to engage in the drugs and reckless behavior while aboard the yacht. Defendant S. Combs' negligence was a substantial factor in causing plaintiffs harm because of...
Like, how the whole family popping up any sexual allegations and they over here trying to switch blame on each other? That shit crazy. And just running y'all blood to fucking sexually assault people.
Failing to properly use and secure the yacht, and for fostering an environment for drug use and assault to occur without ramifications. So in the law, you need to show causation for this. But for what Combs did, this would not have occurred. You really have to show that you created a condition where it was foreseeable this would happen, that Combs knew or should have known this assault would happen because of the environment he created. You might be saying, okay, that seems like a strong claim. Maybe it doesn't. But then you have the aiding and abetting claim against Sean Combs too. Quote, defendant S. Combs knew that an assault, battery, sexual assault was being committed and was and going to be committed against plaintiff because he encouraged and fostered an environment and culture to his son and his employees to do whatever they want with plaintiff and the other yacht staff. And O'Markey goes on to describe how Combs covered up the assault too, that he paid off the yacht captain to keep quiet, allegedly gave him a big tip. By the way, talking about that captain, O'Markey says that after she told the yacht captain, Petar Milkov, about what happened to her, he, quote, berated her, lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, and insisted that she was probably voluntarily partying with the guest. She was not. She also says that, quote, Captain Milkov added insult to injury by assigning plaintiff to work in front of the house, which required personally serving defendant C. Combs while they were on the yacht.
Are you running your contracting business with QuickBooks? Are you using a bunch of...
Now imagine for a moment that she really is a victim of Christian Combs. That is really sinister stuff. But now let's go back to when Christian Combs allegedly drugged and assaulted O'Markey. Remember, these are allegations at this point. And I explained a little bit of the background about this in our previous sidebar, but one interesting detail from the complaint that we didn't bring up is that according to O'Markey, when an allegedly heavily intoxicated Christian Combs came aboard the yacht on that night and went into the recording studio and started ordering tequila shots, O'Markey claims that Cassandra Ventura, or Cassie's Me and You, that song, was playing in the background. What makes that, as O'Markey says in the lawsuit, ironic, is that Cassie was a former artist and girlfriend of Sean Combs who filed that initial lawsuit against him back in 2023, claiming that she was physically and sexually abused by the rapper and producer. She ended up settling with him, but remember, that was the first lawsuit that began all of this. From there, we saw more lawsuits against Combs. We saw the raids. Now, that is a very specific detail for O'Markey to remember that arguably adds to her narrative, right? And kinds of adds a weird context to it. But I imagine that if she were to testify at trial about hearing this song, again, so specific, that would be challenged by Combs's lawyers. And they would say, you remember that? Is that awfully convenient? You remember that detail? Maybe you don't remember other things. So I guess that could be something that she would, or something that would be challenged. Okay, but now going back to this event. O'Markey claims that initially she was forced to take tequila shots, that she wasn't allowed to leave. She claims that her drink was spiked, and she said that she was very scared and in a very dangerous situation with Christian Combs. Now, I'm not sure if this is a typo, but in the actual suit, it says that Sean Combs touched her legs, her breast, her private areas, and started kissing her on her neck, face, and hands. I'm pretty sure that's a typo. Because it seems like she has been alleging that it was Christian who sexually assaulted her. She doesn't sue
shit, it was probably
Sean
a father
Combs
and
for
son
assault
thing.
or
Maybe
battery.
both of
So
them
again,
was
I think
assaulting.
this is a typo, and if it is, that doesn't look good. This is arguably one of the most important lines in this lawsuit. You mess up who you're talking about? But, I mean, I don't know what to make of it, but here's what we do have. O'Markey claims that Rodney Jones, as I mentioned, Diddy's former producer, now plaintiff, suing Combs for sexual assault in a separate lawsuit, that he was there on the yacht that night and actually recorded the
That man
audio
trying to take everybody,
of
buddy.
this assault, this whole episode happening. She provides a transcript of what she says is Christian Combs drugging and sexually assaulting her. I'm going to read it for you now. Christian, yo, it's shot o'clock. Grace, no, I'm not doing shots, Christian. Christian, everybody, we got to take a shot. In the second audio tape, Grace says, I'll just put the ledge. Christian, no, take the whole thing. Grace, no, you will take it as well. Christian, take the whole shot. Grace, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Christian, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. Grace, you are drugging me? Christian, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time because now. And then there is a transcript of Christian's alleged sexual assault of Grace. Cassie's Me and You playing in the background, allegedly. Grace, this is not an offer. Christian, you said what? Grace, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Christian, nah, we need you. Grace, I'm going to stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Christian, you're the best one on this ship, though. Grace, what do you mean? Christian, who's going to replace you? Grace, who's going to replace me? Christian, F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Grace, excuse me, you don't...
This is so creepy, like... Couldn't they tell by these dudes' vibes that they were creeps in the first place, bro? Like... That shit is crazy, dude.
touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Christian, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Grace, I can't. I have to go down. Christian, no, you tell me. Listen. Grace,
Christian learned it from his daddy.
Christian, say you're just vibing with me the whole time. Grace, I can't. I promise you. I wish I could, but I can't. Unless I say that you guys requested me. Christian, yes, who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. Grace, well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Now, according to Grace in her complaint, or Miss Omarky in her complaint, she basically says she was saying that he needed to get permission, and all the people that would give him permission to hang out with her were asleep. So this was kind of a ruse for her to escape. But moving on from that, as I mentioned in the previous sidebar, she explains how later on in the night, Christian allegedly trapped her in the cinema room in the yacht, groped her, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. She claims that she had to fight him off until her partner on board came by and Christian ran away. But now, in this lawsuit, in this complaint, there are embedded photos of Omarky's arm that appear to have bruises or discoloration. She claims this is from the attack. It is an important piece of evidence. But defense lawyers will ask, when were these photos taken? How do we know if it was caused by this and not something else, and so forth? Now, moving on, a big component of a lawsuit like this is to explain the harm that you suffered. That helps in terms of the damages calculation, what you are owed in terms of monetary compensation. So Omarky explains in the complaint that she loved yachting, even at an early age, that she traveled the world, that she enjoyed a successful career where she received high praise, great feedback, great reviews. But, quote, prior to being sexually assaulted by defendant Christian Combs, plaintiff planned to work the entirety of her career in hospitality and the yachting industry. Unfortunately, those plans have been derailed due to the trauma plaintiff continues to have as a result of the assault. And let's talk about what Omarky claims here. She claims that 2023 was the most deeply traumatizing time of her life. She talks about how after the alleged assault and cover-up, she was isolated, she was retaliated against, and she was ultimately fired. She even lost her longtime partner. She says that her mental health significantly deteriorated to the point where she required medication and therapy, and she fell into a deep depression. She claims that she couldn't even perform her maid of honor duties for her sister. She also claims that she developed a severe eating disorder, suffered from suicidal ideations, and even had seizures. So if she can prove that in a trial, that is going to be not only devastating testimony for Christian Combs and Sean Combs, but really important in terms of damages calculations. So she ends up suing Christian Combs for assault, battery, sexual assault, intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress, And as I mentioned earlier, the other claims against Sean Combs as well. Now, I do want to call out something else from the lawsuit, some other mentions in the lawsuit. You remember Brendan Paul, who we talked a lot about here on Sidebar? He was listed in Rodney Jones's lawsuit as Diddy's alleged drug mule that supplied Diddy with narcotics and weapons. He was actually arrested on the day of the raids for drug possession at a Miami airport.
Oh, wow. And he was supplying them with weapons, too. And that boy getting locked up forever. Unless he just bring down the whole empire. But if he don't snitch, that man getting locked up forever.
Well, he is listed in this Grace O'Markey lawsuit, too. Quote, according to plaintiff, defendant S. Combs' assistant and noted drug mule, Brendan Paul, once came down to the pantry and was laughing uncontrollably. He told plaintiff that he had to sit and watch defendant S. Combs have sex with multiple women. He said defendant S. Combs wanted him present just in case he needed him to get him something while he was in the middle of the act. Plaintiff questioned why Brendan would want to work for defendant S. Combs if he was required to do such things, and Brendan replied that defendant S. Combs was a good link to have in the industry. There's also an interesting section that mentions how A-list guests...
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, these grown-ass men over here are willing to, like, sit there and watch P. Diddy, like, do all this fucking creepy-ass shit in front of them just so that they can have connections. Like, oh, wait.
Came on board the yacht. That includes a Philadelphia rapper, a 30-year-old Atlanta rapper who rose to prominence following the release of his 2017 mixtapes, a 25-year-old British rapper, a Moroccan rapper signed to Bad Boy Records and Maybach Music Group, and a former model and CEO of a female urban clothing brand. I'm not going to guess who these people are. If anybody online wants to do their due diligence, feel free to do it. Now, I will tell you who is actually mentioned, who is named in this lawsuit, Cuba Gooding Jr. He is not a defendant in this case, but he is mentioned. And we remember that Jones actually filed a lawsuit against Cuba Gooding Jr. He says that he was sexually assaulted by the actor on Diddy's yacht, by the way. Actually accused
Cuba Gooding, that's that dude that played radio, right? They're talking about that he was sexually assaulting people too. God damn, bro. Like, and then they got a leaked photo with him like all hugged up on this dude. All these niggas fruity, bro. This shit is insane. Oh, yeah, bro.
Sean Combs of facilitating this abuse. But in this lawsuit, O'Markey claims that Cuba Gooding Jr. was extremely unpleasant to serve, that he sat at the bar, made derogatory comments to her,
he do look
that
pretty
he was
in that
visibly
picture, so
intoxicated, and she was in the room and witnessed him inappropriately touching Rodney Jones. So she will be
everybody
an
was coming
important
at this dude,
witness
Rodney
in
Jones.
Jones's lawsuit, and vice
Everybody was trying to
versa.
take his
Jones
booty.
and O'Markey are linked in a
That's
way,
a damn
right? They
shame.
both are there to testify to prove the claims of the other. So quite the lawsuit, to say the least. But I got to give you some updates. O'Markey's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, he told NBC News, quote, it gives us no joy or pleasure in filing the suit against Christian Combs, who has clearly adopted his father's pattern and practice of depravity. While her other attorney, Rodney S. Diggs, also told NBC, quote, I am here to fight for those who can't fight for themselves, and I applaud Grace for being so brave to come forward with her truth.
IRS e-file is open. Snap your W-2 and file your...
However, Aaron Dyer, an attorney for Christian and Diddy, said in a statement that the lawsuit from Grace O'Markey was, quote, another lewd and meritless claim from Tyrone Blackburn. Quote, this complaint is filled with the same kind of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts we've come to expect from Blackburn. We will be filing a motion to dismiss this outrageous claim. Now, a motion to dismiss is when you say the plaintiff has not stated an actual claim, the court doesn't have jurisdiction, or there's some other problem with the actual pleadings. That's how you get rid of it at the outset. Now, I had mentioned in a previous sidebar about how Mr. Blackburn was not only criticized by opposing counsel, but even a federal judge in New York who referred to him to the grievance committee for allegedly filing lawsuits that have deficiencies that he improperly files cases in federal court to garner media attention and to embarrass defendants with salacious details. So keeping that criticism in mind for a moment, where we're talking about, are these claims, are these allegations in these lawsuits credible? Just now, Instagram model Jade Rami, who Rodney Jones claimed in his lawsuit was one of the people that Diddy allegedly bragged about paying to be a sex worker, she has fired back against these allegations from Rodney Jones. Through her publicist, Rami told Entertainment Tonight in a statement, quote, dating someone doesn't directly correlate to any of the false allegations made. Yes, I dated someone. How unfortunate we've entered a time where caring for someone or falling in love is worthy of scrutiny in the court of public opinion. What may be amusing for you is real life for others, and my feelings have never been for entertainment, nor are they up for discussion. We need to be more conscious as a society when ridiculing people's lives and relationships merely for enjoyment. I appreciate everyone's kind messages and support during this time. Thank you. Also, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Young Miami, who Jones also listed as one of the people that Diddy claimed was a sex worker, denied the allegations too, writing on Instagram, I'm not a prostitute. I never sold, and she has an emoji for, you can do the math, an emoji for her private parts. I never sold a day in my life. I hate how this is getting spun. And again, what do we make of these allegations? Serious allegations, but allegations nonetheless. And what about Diddy? In the aftermath of the lawsuits, in the aftermath of the raids, there are these videos and pictures of him that have surfaced in Miami, out, relaxing, holding up the peace sign. But he also just posted on Instagram the music video for his 1997 song Victory, where he runs from police. And he wrote in the caption, Bad Boy for Life, followed by a raised fist emoji. There are these existing civil lawsuits that have been filed against Combs and people in his inner circle. There's amended complaints of existing lawsuits that add new defendants. And that's what we want to talk about. We have Rodney Jones, music producer known as Little Rod Jones, filed a sworn declaration with the court just this week, going into more detail about what he saw and heard Combs allegedly do during the year or so they were working together on the Love album. We actually went more in depth on that new document in another episode of Sidebar. But what we want to talk about right now is that some of the people mentioned in these filings, they have responded with statements of their own, or representatives of them have released statements on their behalf, while there's others who have been silent. So, for example, there's actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who settled his own sexual abuse lawsuit last year before it could go to trial. He also pled guilty to a lesser charge of harassment for forcibly kissing a nightclub worker, avoiding jail time. But according to Jones' complaint, the actor allegedly touched and groped him inappropriately aboard Combs' yacht, even accuses Combs of facilitating this alleged abuse to happen. But the actor seems to be keeping a low profile. Has not responded to the allegations as far as we can see. Others, however, are speaking out and they are defending their innocence. Let's start it off with, you know who best, Combs. So Combs himself, he's spoken out multiple times through his lawyers in reaction to both the lawsuits and the raids on his homes. We start in late 2023 when Combs' ex-girlfriend and Bad Boy entertainment artist Cassie filed a reported $30 million lawsuit accusing Combs of assault, abuse, trafficking, and a lot more. But the very next day, Combs settled the lawsuit. But I should tell you that settling does not mean that Combs admitted anything. His attorney at the time, Ben Brafman, released a statement saying, quote, Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best. Combs himself released his own short statement saying, quote, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. But we know that Combs was then hit with more lawsuits after Ventura's. A woman named Joy Dickerson Neal claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was in college back in 1991. She alleged that Combs filmed the rape, shared the video with others as a form of revenge porn.
Crazy.
Diddy denied the allegations. In fact, in a statement from his spokesperson that was released to People at the time, it said, quote, this last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head.
The prophecies had been forgotten.
By the way, that was referring to a law in New York at the time that gave people a 1-year look-back window to sue for older claims of sexual abuse. But the statement goes on to say, quote, Ms. Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grab and nothing more. Then there was another lawsuit filed from an unidentified woman who claimed that Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall raped her 30 years ago. Diddy, once again, in a statement through his spokesperson to People, said, quote, these are fabricated claims falsely alleging misconduct from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute. This is nothing but a money grab. Because of Mr. Combs' fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. It goes on to state, the New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. Then Combs again issued a statement on Instagram, this one saying, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. And by the way, I've spoken about this before in a previous sidebar that, and this was before the raids, that when you see all of these lawsuits coming out one after the other, you could say, well, people finally felt free and comfortable to go after Sean Combs. We've seen it before. Maybe it has nothing to do with the credibility of what they're saying. But then again, the other way of looking at it is something to say that you have one lawsuit after the other, after he settled with Cassie Ventura. Some would look at that as suspicious. I'm sure that's something that will be honed in upon by his defense team. And if this does go to trial, of course, it will be up for a jury or a judge to decide who's telling the truth. But let me actually talk to you now about the response to the Rodney Jones lawsuit, which I mentioned earlier. So Combs' attorney, Sean Holley, called the claims lies and said, quote, his reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Now, in the days after the federal raids on Combs' homes on March 25th, his other attorney, Aaron Dyer, released a very lengthy statement on his behalf. It said, quote, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. And we do want to point out what Dyer says in this statement is absolutely true. Neither Combs nor anyone from his family has been arrested, has been charged, and neither a court nor a jury has found him liable in the civil sense with respect to any of these lawsuits yet. However, we did cover a number of sidebars with experts, and I said this as well, that military-level use of force could be understandable because there were allegations of unregistered firearms, shootings. These are big properties. You don't know what you're entering into. So as much as they are criticizing the raids, there could be an understanding of why that level of force was used. And talking about statements from Diddy, or maybe non-statements, since the raids, there are pictures and videos of Diddy around Miami that have surfaced, out and about, smiling, riding his bike, sitting in the sun. Not sure if that's a response or not, but what was curious is that he recently posted on Instagram the music video for his 1997 song Victory, where he's running from police with the caption Bad Boy for Life, referencing his hit song from 2001. Now, moving on, there is at least one person in Combs' inner circle who is locked up, his alleged drug mule, Brendan Paul. Paul was arrested on the same day as the raids at an airport in Miami for drug possession. He bonded out and has another hearing scheduled for April 24th. But you'll remember that Paul was mentioned by name several times in Jones' civil lawsuit. He says that Paul was in charge of procuring drugs for Combs and would often pack his carry-on luggage full of marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, and more, allegedly so that Combs would have access to it at all times, no matter where he was. Paul, though, did not speak to police on the body cam video, and we reviewed that from his arrest, and he's made no public statement since then. We haven't seen it. But as Diddy seems to continue to live his life as normally as possible, his sons seem to be doing the same. Christian King Combs and Justin Dior Combs. They were both mentioned in Rodney Jones' lawsuit, with Justin actually being named as a defendant. Both men, by the way, were detained outside of Combs' house while agents got a handle on who might be at the property. They weren't arrested. They were just detained. But after the mention of Christian Combs in the lawsuit and the raids on the LA and Miami homes, Christian continued to post on Instagram seemingly regularly, including a post on his Instagram story that just said, quote, "Stop with the," and it's the blue cap emoji. Cap is slang for lying. Since that post, however, Jones' lawyers have filed a separate lawsuit on behalf of the woman allegedly assaulted by Christian Combs on a yacht in 2022, which was mentioned in the music producer's complaint. Grace O'Markey's lawsuit goes into much more detail about what she says happened to her while she was working as a steward. She claims that Christian forced her to take shots of liquor, which she believes were laced with drugs, and says that he touched her all over her body without permission, that she also claims that he tried to force her to perform oral sex on him, that she had to fight him back. And since those allegations came out, Christian has not yet addressed them publicly, however, but his lawyer has, Aaron Dyer. Again, he's representing Sean Combs too. So there was this statement that was released that called out Jones and O'Markey's lawyer, Tyrone Black.
Thinking I'm gonna start cutting carbs. I need to drop my belly fat.
All right.
If you want to drop
Blackburn, it said, quote,
right, yeah,
this is just another lewd and meritless claim from Tyrone Blackburn, just like what he filed in the Rodney Jones lawsuit, which he still has not served. The complaint is filled with the same kind of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts we've come to expect from Blackburn. This is exactly...
I think that's enough Booty Goon news today. You know, if y'all want to look further into this, I'm sure, you know, y'all can find all the Booty Goon news online. But as far as this topic, you know, we can come back to it later if y'all want to, but yeah, I'm definitely about to move on to the Drake and Rick Ross drama that's been going on. Because apparently, you know, Drake had to call his mom on Rick Ross because he's been getting, you know, so butthurt. Because Rick Ross was calling him a white boy and, you know, telling him that he is the new Michael Jackson, you know, for getting plastic surgery, for trying to look white. But let's look into that and see, you know, what's going on with that, because I find that quite hilarious. How are y'all doing though, guys? How are y'all doing so far? How is everybody doing? How's y'all's night going so far? What y'all got going on right now? What's going on? What's going on, guys? I'm about to cover the Drake and Rick Ross drama that's been going on lately. Definitely let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments below. But just give me a few seconds. I'm about to update the title and update the poll to, you know, let y'all get a little bit more engaged, all right? But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments below. And if y'all, God damn it. And if y'all have any video suggestions or anything like that, you know, feel free to send them my way. I'll definitely view them on here, but of course, you know, make sure it's TOS and it's not like some booty play stuff. All right.
Here, man, we still here. All right, let me see. Let me get some.
All right, yeah, let me update this real quick so people don't get confused by the damn title. One second, guys. 1 second. One more thing. One more thing.
Updates. Yo, chat, this is a crazy day. As a hip-hop fan, you should be excited. I'm excited as well. Hold on, my man Sam Sneak. I don't know if you want to get yo, hey, you know I'm on stream, right?
Yeah, nigga. I know, nigga.
Hey, everybody, yo, I got my man Sam Sneak in the building. You know, this is some of y'all might know him as, you know, Rick Ross's DJ, you know, down with the MMG brand, been down with them, you know, has done a lot of A&R work, has done a lot of management work and label work for, you know, MMG and other things. We got him in the building. Surprisingly, he's one of the people who fucks with the stream. He fucks with Big Act, man. Yo, what's up, bro?
Oh, boy, I ain't staying long, boy. I just text you something, man. You can text me back. Enjoy, man.
All right. Hold on. I'm gonna see it and text you back. Bet.
All
right. Okay. Jesus. Wait. No fucking way. Chat. No way. Don't Ross just drop the record? I don't even know if it's dropped, but I got it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yo, chat. It's happening. No fucking way. No fucking way. Yo, chat, this is crazy. I have a Rick Ross record. It's called Champagne Moments. Can I play for y'all?
Maybach music.
Fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Niggas laugh until they hit with my official jab. Crack smoke is the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghost writers, they get the floss, what you could have had. Record label taking a loss, are you in your bag? You a worker on the chart, don't make me laugh. Get the mind, tell by my watch, this a different time. Living fine, I'm getting high as your shit decline. Who believes he moving keys in his Louis V's? Run up on you and snatch your chain, watch you bitches bleed. Feel the pain or just describe where you really ride. Either you niggas getting money or ready to die. B.I.G. or give a fuck if you T.I.Lee. You got it and you keep it tucked if you be by me. Do the job, better known as the Charles Schwab. Double R spread through the yard and I swear to God. Pop a perk for the field, go and count me a meal. Kill you niggas for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking they records when we speaking directly. If
oh, he's getting that Drake! Yo,
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Drake, Rick Ross. I just like Rick Ross flow style like a whole lot more. To be completely honest with y'all, man. But hey, I'm about to post this poll right here. Who diss track do y'all think was better? And I don't think Drake specifically responded directly back to Rick Ross yet, because I think like the push-ups track was like a general diss to, you know, like the whole situation that's been going on. But I just posted a poll right now. Let me know. Let me know what y'all think about whose diss track was better, Rick Ross's Champagne Moments, or do y'all like the Drake Push Up diss track more? Definitely let me know in the comments below, and let me know on the poll as well. But me personally, I'm definitely going with the Champagne Moments because, you know, Rick Ross flow style, you know, like I definitely fuck with it a whole lot more.
World War V! Everybody wants smoke. Hey, Ross, this is crazy. I got to give you credit. You went in the booth and got out in 2 hours. Kendrick, we can't give you no 2 weeks, nigga. Ross on his shit. Ross could have been counting Wingstop thighs, could have been on his goddamn private jet, doing construction work at his new mansion in Miami, setting up his car show. You know what that nigga Ross did? Let's get in the booth. 2 hours. I'm going to get a record out. I ain't even going to get on stream yet. I got it. Holy! Let's get back to it.
Maybach music. Fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Niggas laugh until they hit with my official jab. Crack smoke is the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghost writers, they get the floss, what you could have had. Record label taking a loss, are you in your bag? You a worker on the chart, don't make me laugh. Get the mind, tell by my watch, this a different time. Living fine, I'm getting high as your shit decline. Who believes he moving keys in his Louis V's? Run up on you and snatch your chain, watch you bitches bleed. Feel the pain or just describe will you really ride? Either you niggas getting money or ready to die. B.I.G. or give a fuck if you Chi-Ali. You got it and you keep it tucked if you be by me. Do the job, better known as the Charles Schwab. Double R spread through the yard and I swear to God. Pop a perk for the field, go and count me a meal. Kill you niggas for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking their records when we speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me you check me. White boy, I see you. I see you. Yeah.
I thought that shit was so damn funny, bro. I thought this shit was so damn comical when he started calling Drake a white boy. Like, you already know Drake gonna get butthurt about that shit.
Check. Getting bullied, don't walk up on me cause the clip is fully. Niggas pussy don't wanna push me, I'm like really Woody. Like his moves, but he never had a fight in school. Always ran, another nigga had to write your grooves. Flow is copy and paste, Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew. Pulitzer Prize winner switching up like dyed denim. Get incentives for all the killings.
Oh, they're all coming up my goal. No, they're all coming out like, oh yeah, SZA got me blocked. SZA posted something.
Why SZA got him blocked? What the fuck, DJ? They was been doing to people. It's fucking funny, but yeah, man. Definitely know what y'all definitely let me know what y'all think about these diss tracks. You know, who do y'all feel diss track was better?
Bro, yo, this is crazy. Chat, look. Oh, this was SZA posted.
And just keep in mind as well, Drake hasn't directly responded with a diss track to Rick Ross yet, but I'm pretty sure he is going to soon. After being called white boy, you know.
Hold on. Oh, man. Yo, they're all coming on my goat.
And you could have did it.
See how I get wrong
because you never apologized.
Oh my god, bro. It's fucking commercial.
So now why am I in it? And you could have did it.
Alright, so far the polls are 50-50. It's a split between Rick Ross and the Drake diss. So we're gonna break that tie.
See how I get wrong because you never.
Basically, sisters wonder why Drake name dropped her in the Kendrick Lamar diss song, okay? Oh my God, chat. Let's go back from the beginning. Ross dropped.
Maybach music. Fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Niggas laugh until they hit with my official jab. Crack smoke is the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghost writers, they get the floss, what you could have had. Record label taking a loss, are you in your bag? You a worker on the chart, don't make me laugh. Get the mind, tell by my watch, this a different time. Living fine, I'm getting high as your shit decline. Who believes he moving keys in his Louis V's? Run up on you and snatch your chain, watch you bitches bleed. Feel the pain or just describe where you really ride. Either you niggas getting money or ready to die. B.I.G. or give a fuck if you Chi-Ali. You got it and you keep it tucked if you be by me. Do the job, better known as the Charles.
Y'all can't tell me that Rick Ross ain't, bro. Rick Ross got on his ass for sure, for sure.
Double R spread through the yard, and I swear to God, pop a perk for the field, go and count me a meal, kill you niggas for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking they records when we speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me.
Oh man, chat.
White boy, I see you. I see you. Yeah. Check. Getting bullied, don't walk up on me cause the clip is fully. Niggas pussy don't wanna.
I wish I could see the look on Drake's face whenever he first heard Rick Ross call him white boy. I know he got so butthurt about that shit.
Push me, I'm like really Woody, like his moves, but he never had a fight in school. Always ran, another nigga had to write your grooves. Flow was copy and paste, Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew. Pulitzer Prize winner, switching up like dyed denim. Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my face, he beginning to shake. Told you niggas stay scheming, I predicted my fate. Got more money than you, fuck you want me to say. 50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay. I can shoot.
Whoa, did he say got more money than Drake?
Incentives for all the killings while we.
By the way, we gotta go back to the Stay Scheming verse. He said, yo, Stay Scheming predicted his fate.
When switching up like dyed denim.
Nah, Rick Ross definitely doesn't. Well, I don't know. They might. Well, nah, I don't know. Cause Rick Ross does have a lot of businesses. I mean, their money might be a little bit close, but I mean, Drake just went on a sold out tour, so shit. I don't know, man. Drake definitely got a lot of fucking money. So I don't know, man.
Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my face, he beginning to shake. Told you niggas stay scheming, I predicted my fate. Got more money than you, fuck you want me to say. 50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay. I can shoot up the block, I got pictures to paint. Let you DM my hoes, but got bitches you can't. Let you get on my songs, it was.
Let you DM my. This is real.
DJ Academics is so fucking stupid, bro. His reaction.
Chad. This is hip hop overload. I can't even take it. I have to be on stream forever.
When switching up like dyed denim. Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my face, he beginning to shake. Told you niggas stay scheming, I predicted my fate. Got more money than you, fuck you want me to say. 50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay. I can shoot up the block, I got pictures to paint. Let you DM my hoes, but got bitches you can't. Let you get on my songs, it was good for your face. Now bitch nigga is home, and no room for debate. Pop a perk for the field, go and count me a meal. Kill you niggas for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking they records when we speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me.
By the way, I got a lot of respect for a lot of rappers, but I got one guy. He's my favorite person to rap with.
And then he gonna clip Drake saying that Rick Ross is his favorite rapper. They petty.
Maybach music. You ain't never wanna be a nigga anyway, nigga. That's why you had operation to make your nose smaller than your father knows, nigga. I unfollowed you, nigga, cause you sent the motherfucking cease and desist to French Montana, nigga. You said the police, nigga, hated on my dog project. That wasn't the same white boy that I seen, nigga.
Where is he going? He just left the room. He's so dramatic. Where the hell did he just go, bro? This nigga is stupid, bro. He did kill him though, I ain't gonna lie. He fucking killed his shit. Academics is fucking retarded, bro. Alright, bro. I'm not about to just sit up here and just watch you like fucking troll the whole time. This nigga just went to go get a whole bottle.
Chat, my dealer got me. My dealer got me this
bottle of Henny
for copping the Maybach. I ain't gonna lie.
Nigga's a fucking alcoholic, bro.
He should have got me Henny. He brought this from the title to the car. I gotta pop it. This is getting out of hand. I got a stress drink. They're attacking my goat. Ross responded in an hour. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. I thought they wasn't even really beefing. Let me play the outro again. Wait, is this out everywhere? Or am I the only person who got it? I think it's out everywhere, right?
That is so fucking funny. That is so fucking funny, bro.
Exclusive to make your nose smaller than your fault. Yo, Sam Sneak, you my nigga forever, man. Thank you for that exclusive, man. Come on, we getting all exclusive.
But yeah, I definitely think Rick Ross got him on this one, man. Until he responds, at least. Until he responds directly. All right, let's see if we can find some more. Let's see what DJ Ghost said.
Spin your passion into a business with Shopify and break sales records with the world's best converting checkout. Your customers can check out everywhere. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify.
Next up, likes in the comments, do that for me. Other than that,
niggas laugh until they
think about somebody that's self-made and a real boss, bro. They will always feel superior. I don't care, bro, if you working for somebody and you making more money than him. They will always feel more superior than you because they are bossing you, the worker. Always. And I said this on the last record I did with the Drake disc. Everything Ross saying, this just didn't like, I'm gonna say this because he dissed me. Nah, bro, been feeling like this. But we making money together, so why I'm gonna say something? This duo is crazy when it comes to the records. Crazy.
Louis V's run up on you and snatch your chain, watch you bitches bleed. Feel the pain or just describe where you really ride. Either you niggas getting money or ready to die.
I honestly don't understand this. Like, are we gonna get flagged for playing this music, or is this music like not fucking copyrighted, or like I don't fucking understand what's going on with that. But I don't know. It seems like everybody's playing it on their stream, so I ain't worried about it right now.
B.I.G. or give a fuck if you Chi-Ali. You got it and you keep it tucked if you be by me.
And also, we need to break this tie. Right now in the votes, it's 50-50. We need somebody to break this tie. Who diss track do y'all think was better, Rick Ross or Drake's?
Do the job, better known as the Charles Schwab. Double R spread through the yard, and I swear to God, pop a perk for the field, go and count me a meal. Kill you niggas for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking their records when we speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me.
Speaking of leaking records, another thing when I was looking for both of these records with the Drake and this Rick Ross diss, they leaked it, and I don't feel that they feel it's that important for the simple fact that it ain't on none of their official channels, like their music channels, their YouTube page, right? I say that to say this. I recommend both of them for not wanting to get paid off these diss records. I do.
Oh, okay, I see. So
they don't look like they're making no money, and to keep it real, the re-uploaders, the music reaction channels,
dropping records.
They the ones that's gonna eat off the record more than it look like these fools is. So hats off to them for that.
I see
man.
What's going on.
White boy, I see you. I see you. Yeah. Check. Getting bullied, don't walk up on me cause the clip is fully. Niggas pussy don't wanna push me, I'm like, really, would he? Like his moves, but he never had a fight in school. Always ran, another nigga had to write your grooves. Flow was copy and paste, Weezy gave you.
Well, I don't know why, dude. I don't even know why Rick Ross is acting so damn gangster. This dude was a fucking, corrections officer, you know? Yeah, I worked inside of the prison, so like it's not like he was on the streets or anything like that. Like this dude was working a 9 to 5 his whole life until he blew up. So I don't know why he's over here trying to down talk on Drake as he didn't like live the same damn life.
The juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew. Pulitzer Prize winner switching up like dyed denim. Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my.
Ross know what he doing by calling him white boy. So Drake, y'all remember he had the little black.
Wait a minute, Miley, you said everybody in Miami know that William. Wait, what? Let me see, bro. I can't see that. Everybody in Miami know what William did to the real Rick Ross. What a hypocrite. I don't think I heard about that. Let me see what's going on.
Blackface, right? And a lot of people like, well, he is
what
black.
What did William do to Rick Ross in Miami?
So when they talk about light-skinned niggas, right? That category.
And hey, we got 4 people up in here, so somebody break this tie. What? Whose diss track do y'all think that was better, Rick Ross or Drake's?
Category don't fit. Some people would do, but most black people, that category don't fit nobody that's mixed. When they talk about a light-skinned nigga, they talking about 2 actual black people that had a light-skinned baby.
Nah, bro. DJ Ghost getting offended because Rick Ross is calling Drake white because he's a light-skinned too. These light-skins be getting butthurt about the term white boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, my dad, dark as hell, right?
That's
and I came
funny
out
as
like,
shit, bro.
And not saying they gotta be dark, they can be brown skin, they can be light skin. It's just that if both of your parents is black, then you're a light skinned nigga. If both of them not, bro, I don't care if you got a white and a black, Asian and black, Mexican and black. That's just mixed. I'm keeping it real with you, bro. You half and half. Drake, Rick Ross is playing this. That gets under Drake's skin.
Wait, Miley, are you saying William because that's Rick Ross's real name is William Robert? And what did he do to the real Rick Ross?
Trust me, I know a lot of mixed people. And if you are mixed and you got some black in you, right? And you carry yourself as a black man.
Why does DJ go so butthurt, bro? Light-skinned people are so sensitive, bro. Oh my God, he's really butthurt about this term white boy. He's trying to make a whole explanation of why light skins can't be called white boy. That's fucking funny, bro. That's how I know Drake fucking took that shit so personal.
And they know that your dad is white.
Oh my God, this shit is fucking hilarious.
Them clowning you over that will get under your skin, bro. That is nothing you'll be able to shake ever. It's something that you gotta accept. And I promise you, them remarks, them calling Drake white, that gets under his skin, bro.
Well, yeah, see, DJ Ghost just admitted that light skins get so butthurt by the term white boy. That's fucking funny as shit, bro. But you're saying that the real Rick Ross was a drug lord. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's well known. That's definitely well known that Freeway Ricky Ross is what they call him, was an actual drug lord. But yeah, Rick Ross, William Roberts was a correctional officer, and he's basically like cosplaying as a Freeway Ricky Ross. You know, he's not an actual gangster at all. So that's why I'm not understanding why he's over here fucking trying to talk down on Drake as if he's a gangster too. Like, both of them are frauds in my eyes. He stole his whole life story. He did though. Rick Ross did fucking steal Freeway Ricky Ross's whole lore. Honestly though. But hey, Miley, definitely hit that subscribe. You know, I'm gonna go live more and more. And if you haven't already, drop that vote on a poll because I'm trying to break this tie right here.
For sure. For sure.
Face, he beginning to shake. Told you niggas stay scheming. I predicted my fate. Got more money than you. Fuck you want me to say? 50 mils for the crib. Where you want me to stay? I can shoot up the block. I got pictures to paint. Let you DM my old, but got bitches you can't. Let you get on my songs. It was good for your face. Now bitch nigga is home and no room for the.
Once everything's perfectly organized, I'll start working on my thesis.
Bait, pop a perk for the field. Go and count me a meal. Kill you niggas for free. Do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking their records when we speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me.
I got a lot of respect for a lot of rappers, but I got one guy. He's my favorite person to rap on any song. His name is Rick Ross. Maybach music.
You ain't never wanna be a nigga.
And that right there to me is just clown shit. Like, bro, we was boys at a point, so of course I'm gonna get on stage and this is my favorite rapper. Like, how you gonna throw this in my face?
Nah, that shit's funny. That shit's petty as fuck, but it's funny as shit, bro. How you gonna take that clip?
Supposedly like cool, and I get on stage and I'm supposed to be like, hey, Rick Ross is a buster. Whoopty whoop whoop and whoop whoop. Nah, I don't like these niggas. That's why the homie logo, the friend logo, the associate logo, the co-worker logo, the relationships, I don't want it, bro. Let me just get my kid.
Bro, DJ Ghost, it's not that serious, bro. They're just fucking dissing each other on the track, bro. I'm pretty sure it's not that serious, bro.
It's my little bitch I'm messing with, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
Matter of fact, let me click off this video because this dude is stressing me out. Ain't even that serious, bro. They're just dissing each other on the track. But Yeah, no, that shit was crazy, bro. Shit was crazy for sure, for sure. We just waiting on a Drake, on a Drake response. That's all we doing. Waiting on that one to drop. That's if they keep on going back and forth. I don't know if it's dead. Why the hell is what's that girl name? You said who? Well, yeah, like I know his baby mama like be saying some throw it off shit. Like, yeah. Yeah, no, she be going live on, I don't know if it's like Instagram or what, but she stay talking noise. And I think Drake recently had flew her out to like one of her to like one of his concerts or something like that, but you know, just being messy and stuff, but yeah, no, his baby mama would completely throw it off. And then like I remember one time she was like going live at the gym, and then she gonna leave the gym because they started playing his song on the radio. So she had ended live, and I think she had left the gym. I was like, she hurt. But yeah, I definitely think on this round for sure, Drake definitely got it. I mean, I feel like Rick Ross definitely got it on this one for sure. I definitely think that Rick Ross's diss track was way better. And that's just because, you know, I personally like Rick Ross's flow. You know, I don't really too much care for Drake's flow. I mean, he is a good rapper, but I don't really care for his flow style too much. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna hop back on. He said, let's see if Pusha T gets involved. Bro, Pusha T would annihilate like all of these dudes that are involved right now. He would seriously annihilate everybody, bro. He's definitely one of the better lyricists out of all of these people. So that would definitely be entertaining. But yeah, remember guys, if y'all would like to be a part of the community, please join our Reddit, please join the Discord. It'll be a link in the description below. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Hit that like and hit that subscribe because I'll be going live again soon. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Appreciate you for being in the comments, Molly.